Level 1, $18,000 a year. You make $9 an hour, and you know exactly what everything costs. That's the thing nobody understands about this level. It's not that you're bad with money. You are a supercomputer about money. You know the tacos at the truck on Harrison are $1.50 on Tuesdays. You know which gas station is 4 cents cheaper. You know your phone bill hits on the 9th and your paycheck lands on the 10th, and you know exactly what that one-day gap does to you every single month. After taxes, you bring home about $1,300 a month. Your room, not apartment, room, is $550 in a house with 2 roommates you found on Facebook, where the thermostat is a democracy you keep losing. Your car is a 2009 Nissan with a check engine light you've decided is decorative, because the diagnosis alone costs a day's pay. At $18,000 a year, your body is the budget. You pick up a Saturday shift, and that's your back. You skip the dentist, and that's a bet. You are 26 years old, and at the end of a double, your feet make a sound in your head. When your manager asks if you can close Friday, you say yes before he finishes the sentence. Not because you want to, because yes is the only word at this level that has money in it. Here's what the level actually costs, though, and it isn't the money. It's the conversations you leave early. Someone at the party starts talking about their trip to Denver, and you drift to the kitchen because you have nothing to put in that conversation, and you're tired of performing interest in lives you can't afford to visit. And it's the birthdays. Your mom's birthday is in March, and every March you do the same quiet crime. You buy the card early, when you have $11 of slack, and you write something long in it, because the words are free, and the words have to carry what the gift can't. She keeps every card. You found them once, rubber-banded in her nightstand drawer, and you had to leave the room. She never once mentioned the gifts that weren't there. Mothers run their own books. One more thing about 18,000, because it matters later. This level teaches you a skill the higher levels can't. You can look at any price tag in America and know, instantly, what it costs in hours of your one life. $11 lunch, 70 minutes of work. $90 shoes, a full Saturday. That conversion runs in your head automatically, and it will never fully turn off. And one day, though you'd never believe it now, it will be the reason you're rich. Level 2, $34,000. You got the warehouse job. Full-time, benefits after 90 days, $16.50 an hour. The first change is stupid and enormous. You buy name-brand cereal. You stand in the aisle at Kroger, put the store brand back, take the real one, and feel completely ridiculous about the lump in your throat. It's cereal. It's $3. It's the first purchase in 4 years that wasn't an interrogation. At $34,000, you get your own apartment. 1 bedroom, $480 a month plus utilities, 3rd floor, no elevator, and you carry a couch up those stairs with your buddy Marcus, and it is the proudest furniture in America. The thermostat is yours. The silence is yours. The first night, you sit on that couch in the quiet and just listen to nobody. But this is also the level of the trap, and the trap has a monthly payment. The guys at work all have trucks. Nice ones, 48-month loan ones. Dave in receiving pays $640 a month for his, and Dave makes what you make. The dealership will absolutely give you the same loan. You checked, just to see, and the approval felt like a compliment. It isn't one. It's a leash with your name embroidered on it. You keep the Nissan. The light stays on. Dave calls it a clown car. Dave will be making that payment when you're gone from that warehouse, and some part of you already knows it. And you start the thing here, small. $50 a paycheck into a savings account, automatic, because a guy on a podcast said start before you're ready. $100 a month. It's nothing. It's a rounding error. It's also the first money in your entire life with no job except tomorrow. And something about watching it sit there, unspent, untouchable, changes the way your chest feels on the drive to work. You don't tell anyone about the $50. There's nothing to tell yet. There will be. Level 3, $58,000. 2 promotions and a certification later, you're a shift supervisor, and $58,000 is the first salary that ever felt like a fact instead of a fight. Take home is about $3,800 a month. Rent, car, a used Camry now, paid cash. The Nissan died with honor. Food, insurance, all of it comes to about $2,900, and for the first time in your life, there is a gap. $900 a month of nobody's money but yours. Nobody tells you how loud a gap is. Every voice in the economy shows up for it at once. Upgrade the apartment. Finance a newer car. You deserve it. That exact phrase everywhere, like they all got the same memo. And here's the honest part. You do deserve it. That's what makes this level dangerous. The deprivation years left a hunger, and the hunger has a list. You compromise. You spend 300 of the gap on living like a human, real restaurant now and then, a weekend in Nashville, a mattress that doesn't fold you like a taco. The other 600 starts leaving your checking account on the 2nd of every month, automatically, into an index fund before you can vote on it. You set that up one random Tuesday on your phone in the break room. It takes 11 minutes. No one claps. It will quietly become the most important thing you ever did. Level 4, $95,000. You jumped companies. That's how the real raises happen. You learned that the hard way after loyalty bought you a 3% bump and a pizza party. Operations manager now, $95,000 a year, and the strangest thing happens. Money stops being about things and starts being about time. You notice it in small ways first. Your dishwasher breaks. You call a guy. It costs $180 and you don't think about it for even a second. And then you sit down and realize that the version of you from level 1 just watched you do that with his mouth open. A problem appeared, money left, the problem died. No spiral, no skipped meals, no math at 2 a.m. At $95,000, you can afford almost any single thing you want. A grill, a trip, good boots. What you cannot afford is everything. And this level is where people fail to learn the difference. Your neighborhood is full of $95,000 salaries dressed up as $200,000 lives. Leased Audis, financed kitchens, vacations on a card at 24% interest. You know, because they tell you, at cookouts, with a laugh that isn't one, that they're one missed paycheck from the whole thing folding. Your automatic transfer is $1,500 a month now. It goes up every time your pay does, before your lifestyle can catch it. The account has 6 figures in it. You've told exactly one person. Your mom cried. There's one more moment at this level you'll never forget. Your dad needs a knee replacement, and he's putting it off, walking crooked into his 60s, saying it's fine, waiting on some insurance approval that keeps not coming. And you sit down one night, look at your accounts, and realize you could just pay for it, all of it, and survive. You don't tell him that. He'd never allow it. Instead, you spend 3 weeks on the phone with the insurance company on his behalf, in your calm operations manager voice, escalating like it's your job, because it basically is. The surgery gets approved. He thinks he got lucky with a persistent customer service rep. You let him think it, but you know now what the money is actually for, and it was never the grill. Level 5, $210,000, director level. And here is the truth about $210,000 that nobody says on the internet. The money is incredible, and the job eats your life like it's paid to. Your phone is a work phone now, all the way down. It buzzes at dinner. It buzzes at your nephew's birthday party, and you step out to take a call next to a bouncy castle, apologizing with one finger raised, 1 minute. A minute that everyone at that party knows is a lie. Sundays develop a dread to them around 4 p.m. You are paid $210,000 a year, and some months, per hour of your actual life consumed, you're not entirely sure you're beating the warehouse. But the math underneath is now a machine. Maxed 401k, maxed everything. $3,500 a month into the taxable account, automatic, invisible. The portfolio crossed $400,000 this spring, and the growth in a good year now rivals your old warehouse salary. Money is making money while you sit in meetings about meetings. Marcus calls in October. Marcus, the couch, the 3rd floor, the stairs. He's still at the warehouse, running 2nd shift now, and he's in town for a wedding and wants to grab a beer. You meet at the same bar you always did, and for the first 20 minutes, it's perfect. It's old times. It's the two of you laughing about Dave and his truck, which Dave finally paid off and immediately traded in for a bigger one. And then the check comes, and you reach for it the way you always do now, without thinking, and Marcus's face does something small. Just for a second. He puts his card down anyway and says, "Split it, like always." And you split it, like always. And you understand something on the drive home. The money didn't change you, but it changed the room, every room. It sits at the table like a third person only he can see, and the kindest thing you can do, the only thing, is never look at it first. You text him when you get home. "Good seeing you, brother." He texts back a beer emoji at 1 a.m., end of his shift. You're still awake too. Different reasons. Same hour. This is also the level where you learn the last hard lesson. Everyone assumes you're fine, so no one asks. Your paycheck became a wall. Behind it, you're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, and the only person who noticed was your barber, who asked if you were good, and you said, "Yeah, long week," and then sat in your car in the parking lot for 10 minutes because a man with clippers was the first person in months to look at your face instead of your title. Level 6, $800,000. You didn't get here with a salary. Nobody really does. You got here because at 44, your wife said one sentence at the kitchen table that changed everything. You'd been complaining about the job again, same complaint, third year running, and she put down her fork and said, "You keep describing a cage and then telling me how good the food is." You didn't sleep that night. 6 months later, you left the director job and started a logistics consulting firm with two guys you trusted. And the first year was terrifying. You made $61,000, less than half of what you'd been earning, and lay awake doing $18,000 math in a 5-bedroom house. But you had the portfolio behind you like a net under a wire, and that net was the only reason you could stay on the wire long enough to get good. Year 2, the firm found its footing. Year 3, it grew teeth. Your income last year, all in, was just over $800,000. So what does $800,000 a year actually feel like? Honestly, it feels like level 3. That's the secret at the top that no one believes from the bottom. The panic is gone, the same panic that left at 58,000 when the gap first appeared. Everything since then has been the same feeling with more zeros and better insurance. Your house is nice, not gated. You fly coach on short flights because it's 90 minutes. Who cares? The watch you wear is the one your wife bought you when the firm signed its first big client, and it cost $400, and you will be buried in it. What $800,000 actually buys is the thing you couldn't have named at $18,000. Exits. You can leave any room, any client, any deal, any conversation that doesn't sit right, and nothing happens to your family. That's it. That's the whole product at the top. Not yachts. Doors. Last month, you were at a gas station at 11 p.m. Road trip. Terrible coffee. And through the window, you watched the kid at the register count out his drawer, and you clocked the whole life in one look. The Saturday shifts. The decorative check engine light. The yes before the manager finishes the sentence. You wanted to tell him something, and there's nothing to say that doesn't sound like a fortune cookie from a guy in a paid-off truck. So here's what you'd say instead, if you could say it straight. Every level felt permanent while you were in it. Every single one. 18,000 felt like a life sentence. 34 felt like a rival. 95 felt rich for exactly 6 months. The number was never the point. The point was the gap. The space between what came in and what went out. Because the gap was the only thing at any level that ever bought you a single inch of freedom. You built your whole life out of that inch. And the kid counting his drawer at 11 p.m. is standing at the bottom of the same staircase, holding the same first coin, in a country that will spend the next 30 years telling him to spend it. You tip him $5 for the terrible coffee. It's not advice, but it's something.